Welcome back to all of you. Yes, it is only February, but actually right now is the time to start thinking about summer camps. And this morning we are happy to have Flint Fowler with us from the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis to tell us all about the amazing things that they have to offer. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Teenagers in St. Louis have a new place to explore their creative side and sharpen their tech skills. The Teen Tech Center is now open at the Herbert Hoover Boys and Girls Club. It's expected to help about 300 teens a year in North St. Louis. They can use equipment and programs that they don't normally have access to, and many students don't know much about tech opportunities, so the Tech Center introduces them to those resources through music. Leaders at Herbert Hoover hope students dive in and find something they love.
Well, a special celebration today for the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis. This morning, construction workers hoisted the final steel beam on their new teen center in Ferguson. The last beam topped with an American flag and signatures of all the donors who contributed to funding that project. The teen center will offer after-school and summer programs for youths ages 12 to 18 in North St. Louis County.
At the next event to benefit the Boys and Girls Club of St. Louis. Here we have Carissa Davis, event chair for the Friends of the Club Casino Night. We have Dr. Flint Fowler, president of the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis.
Now let's head to some dry land with Kim Hudson. She's outstanding in her field.
All right, John, I'm going to do my best to try to make this man over here proud. Dan Politis, golf pro with PGA Reach. We're going to start with Dr. Flint Fowler, president of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis. You have the Jim Butler's Charity Golf Classic coming up. You do so much with kids all year round.
Best Buy and the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis team up to give kids an edge with technology. More than 100 kids are in the middle of a two-day camp called Geek Squad Academy. They'll learn about 3D design, producing music, how to code, and more. Camp counselors tell us millions of families across the country still don't have internet at home. And camps like this help because 80% of jobs will require tech skills by 2020.
Kids in St. Louis are gaining an important skill. They're attending a 4-day water safety camp at the Boys and Girls Club. More than 100 kids ages 5 to 9 are learning how to swim. It's sponsored by members of the Zach Foundation. The group is dedicated to teaching people about water safety. Their efforts aren't just focused on children.
And we are convening roundtable meetings with public health officials, community leaders, elected officials, and first responders and educators to really have a conversation around the drowning rates in this community and what we can do as a collective to help drive those rates down.
And we know that children of Black and Hispanic descent are 3 to 4 times more likely to drown than their Caucasian peers. And so we really work to provide funding and education in communities that are at a higher risk.
We have lots of terrible and horrific numbers when it comes to our children knowing how to swim in different drownings that happen around the area. And so we're hoping that this equips our members to start learning at an early age.
Yeah, right now you've got summer camps, outdoor summer camps in full swing all around the St. Louis area. And like Steve said, this is classic St. Louis. July and August, you have these spikes in the hot weather and the humidity. So they really do have to take precautions. So earlier today, we went up to the Herbert Hoover Boys and Girls Club in North St. Louis. You know, they have an 8-week camp that serves 250 kids. And when we got the heat index hitting well over 100 degrees, they know they have to take precautions, so outdoor activities are limited. They do what they can indoors. Now, kids are reminded to tell the staff if they're not feeling well, but staff also have to keep a close eye on the kids.
It's a combination of both, but that's why we try to maintain the appropriate ratios of adults to kids so that each staff member knows the children that they're responsible for and can keep an eye out for them. And in particular in situations like this, when we know it's warm, when we know there's going to be a tendency for a child to maybe overdo it.
I'm Ryan Henson, and just behind me, well, that's the new Ferguson Teen Center. The Boys and Girls Club put it right here at ground zero of the Ferguson riots 5 years ago. Now, what are they going to be doing inside? Well, they'll be helping at least 1,500 teens learn more about educational things and life skills. The big key to success will come with consistency, having a presence right here in the community. The point is to expose local children to positive experiences.
The Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis is marking a first for St. Louis County. A new center providing services and new options specifically for teens. The grand opening for the new Teen Center of Excellence was held just 2 hours ago. It is located on West Florissant in Ferguson. With almost 27,000 square feet, the center features fitness areas, a game room, music and art studios, even a nutritional education center. St. Louis business owner Dave Spence was the original donor for the project.
At this point, we've raised $22 million of $25 million from our community and people across the country, and it's going to be a beacon of hope. It's going to be a beacon of change, and we really think that the lives and families it will impact in the North County area will make a huge difference in our community.
What kind of qualities does a young person need to be named Youth of the Year? Well, that is the annual honor bestowed upon a teenager by the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis, and we are pleased to have last Friday night's 2020 honoree along with Boys and Girls Clubs President Dr. Flint Fowler. Dr. Fowler, thank you so much for coming in.
All right, Honorary Grand Marshal Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis. We're so glad to see them here this year, and they're celebrating 50 years in our city. Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis inspired and enabled all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, responsible, and caring citizens.
Welcome to the Pulse of St. Louis. I'm Shirley Washington. You know, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis Teen Center of Excellence is now open in Ferguson. Isn't that awesome? The $12.4 million facility is the first of its kind in the county that caters to young people with unique programs. Joining me now, Erica Bumper. She is director of the Teen Center of Excellence. Shanice Johnson. She is director of the St. Louis Internship Program. Alonzo Lee. He is a Grammy Award-winning music producer. And Dr. Flint Fowler. He is president of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater St. Louis. Thank you all so much for being here.
A holiday surprise for 100 children tonight at the Herbert Hoover Boys and Girls Club. Santa didn't just bring a little holiday joy, he also brought dinner. The Lion's Choice food truck surprised the children with food and the visitor from the North Pole. Wow, Santa was popular tonight.